Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. Hard drives and solid-state drives can experience a range of failures, and recognizing the early signs is an important topic for the Network Plus certification. Whether it involves a mechanical spinning disk or a solid-state device with no moving parts, both types of storage can fail due to hardware defects, wear over time, or improper usage. Common symptoms include boot errors, missing partitions, data corruption, or strange noises coming from the device. These problems may develop gradually or occur without warning, depending on the cause. The exam emphasizes identifying symptoms, confirming a diagnosis, and responding appropriately to protect data and system functionality. Boot-related error messages are often the first indicator that a storage device has a problem. These messages appear when the system cannot find or access the drive required to load the operating system. Common errors include no boot device found, missing operating system, or disk read error. These messages may result from a corrupted master boot record, a disconnected data cable, or a completely failed drive. In some cases, the BIOS may no longer recognize the device, which typically signals a hardware-level issue. Recognizing the significance of each error message is a key skill for the certification. When troubleshooting a suspected drive failure, the first step is to check the BIOS or UEFI settings. During the power-on self-test, the system will attempt to detect connected storage devices. If the failing drive does not appear in the list, it may not be receiving power, the cable could be faulty, or the interface setting might be incorrect. Technicians should check whether the drive is listed, confirm that the SATA or NVMe port is enabled, and review the boot order to ensure the system is configured correctly. Swapping to a different cable or port may help confirm whether the issue lies in the drive or its connections. Drive failure is not always obvious at startup. In some cases, the operating system loads successfully but shows signs of deeper issues during use. A system may become unusually slow, programs may crash without reason, or files may disappear unexpectedly. These symptoms suggest problems with file access or storage integrity and should not be ignored. Another common indicator is a file that fails to save or copy in a reasonable time, which may indicate failing sectors or hardware errors. These functional degradations point to potential storage instability and often precede total drive failure. One of the most dramatic signs of a failing mechanical hard drive is sound. Drives that begin making clicking, grinding, or buzzing noises are experiencing internal physical damage. These sounds can occur when read or write heads malfunction, or when the motor or platter system begins to break down. Continued use of a drive in this condition can cause permanent data loss and damage that even specialized recovery tools cannot fix. For this reason, the best course of action is to shut the system down immediately and avoid further interaction with the drive. Most modern drives support a built-in diagnostic system called S.M.A.R.T, which stands for Self-Monitoring Analysis and Reporting Technology. S.M.A.R.T tracks internal data such as read and write errors, temperature, spin-up time, and sector remapping activity. These values are compared against manufacturer thresholds, and when problems are detected, the drive can generate a warning. These alerts can be viewed through BIOS or with software tools designed to read S.M.A.R.T data. Understanding how to interpret these values is a key objective on the exam and can help prevent data loss before a failure becomes unrecoverable. Some S.M.A.R.T alerts are especially serious and indicate that the drive is nearing the end of its usable life. Examples include warnings about excessive reallocated sectors or errors labeled as drive failure imminent. These messages mean that the drive is struggling to maintain data integrity and should not be trusted for continued use. When technicians encounter these warnings, they should initiate immediate data backups and replace the drive as soon as possible. The certification expects you to understand what these S.M.A.R.T messages imply and what actions are required in response. To confirm that a drive is failing, technicians can use diagnostic utilities provided by the drive's manufacturer. These tools perform read tests, check firmware logs, and validate the physical health of the device. In addition to software testing, basic troubleshooting steps include switching cables, using different ports, or even installing the drive in another system. These procedures help isolate whether the problem is with the drive itself, the interface, or the host system. The exam may describe these processes in scenario-based questions to test your decision-making under failure conditions. File system corruption can also produce symptoms that resemble hardware failure. In these cases, the data on the drive becomes disorganized or unreadable, but the hardware itself remains intact. The Windows command chkdisk can be used to scan and repair file system problems. If important data must be retrieved, third-party recovery tools may be able to extract files from damaged partitions. However, if the drive is functioning mechanically and the data is not essential, a full reformat can restore usability. Understanding when to use each option is critical for exam success. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. When a drive begins to fail, the way it is handled can make a significant difference in whether the data can be recovered. If any mechanical noise is heard, the system should be powered down immediately to avoid further physical damage. Continuing to run a failing drive may worsen the condition or make data inaccessible. If the data is important, the drive should be cloned using disk imaging software that reads from the drive only once. Minimal interaction reduces the chance of worsening any internal defects. Installing new software or performing routine tasks on a failing drive should be avoided at all costs. One of the best defenses against data loss from a failed drive is a sound backup strategy. Scheduled backups that occur daily or weekly can ensure that critical files are always recoverable. Backup tools may include file-level backups, full system images, or automated solutions that run in the background. External drives and cloud-based services provide redundancy, ensuring that a single point of failure does not result in permanent loss. The certification emphasizes that RAID, while helpful for fault tolerance, is not considered a backup solution. Backups must exist outside the live environment and be accessible even if the system fails. Drive imaging is a particularly useful tool when dealing with failing storage. Imaging software captures the entire contents of a drive, including hidden files, partitions, and operating system files. This allows a technician to create a full copy that can be used for later recovery or duplication. Imaging is also helpful when moving an operating system from a failing drive to a new one, as it avoids the need for full reinstallation. Importantly, the imaging process should be completed before any repair attempts, as every action on a failing drive increases the risk of further data corruption. When a drive fails completely and replacement is necessary, it's important to understand the warranty and return process. Most manufacturers offer a Return Merchandise Authorization, or RMA, which allows the user to send the drive back for a replacement. Warranty status can usually be checked by entering the drive serial number on the vendor's website. However, users must never open the drive enclosure, as this voids the warranty and may damage the drive further. If personal data is still present, tools should be used to securely erase the drive before it is sent back to the manufacturer. Although both hard disk drives and solid-state drives can fail, the symptoms are often different. Mechanical drives tend to fail gradually, offering warning signs like clicking sounds or slow access times. In contrast, solid-state drives may fail suddenly and silently, with the device no longer appearing in BIOS or responding at all. This distinction is important for diagnostics, as the method for confirming or recovering from failure can differ based on the drive type. The exam may present questions that involve these contrasting failure patterns and expect you to distinguish between them. Once a failed drive has been replaced or imaged, the system must be restored to working condition. If no image was made, a clean operating system installation may be required. After installation, updates should be applied to ensure stability and security. If backups exist, data can then be restored from the saved copies. When using an image, the technician must ensure that the target hardware is compatible, and that the system boots correctly. This restoration process is an important step in recovery, and its order and execution may be covered on the exam. Monitoring tools can help detect early signs of drive failure and are an important part of long-term maintenance. Utilities such as Crystal Disk Info, drive manufacturer software, and operating system logs can track S.M.A.R.T attributes and notify users when thresholds are crossed. These tools often display metrics like read error rates, temperature, or sector remapping. Real-time monitoring allows administrators to act on problems before data becomes unrecoverable. The certification may ask you to identify or recommend tools used to evaluate drive health under various conditions. Sometimes, what appears to be drive failure is actually a cabling or controller issue. Faulty SATA data or power cables can cause a drive to disappear from BIOS or generate boot errors. Technicians should reseat both ends of each cable and test the system again. If problems persist, replacing the cables with known good ones can help isolate the issue. Controller-level problems, such as a damaged motherboard port, can affect multiple drives and may require more complex troubleshooting. Differentiating between true drive failure and connection problems is a key skill tested on the exam. To bring everything together, consider a typical drive failure and recovery scenario. A user reports a failure to boot and hears clicking sounds from the system. BIOS does not detect the drive, and a S.M.A.R.T utility later shows a high number of reallocated sectors. The technician powers off the system, images the drive using minimal reads, and then restores the image to a new solid-state drive. The system is updated and rebooted successfully, and the user's data is intact. This kind of diagnostic process and resolution is representative of what the exam may describe in scenario-based questions. Drive failures are an important topic in storage management and are featured prominently on the certification. Recognizing the warning signs, such as boot errors, missing files, or unusual noises, can help prevent data loss. Diagnostic tools like S.M.A.R.T, BIOS checks, and manufacturer utilities are essential for confirming the root cause of failure. Recovery may involve backup restoration, disk imaging, or replacement of the physical device. Preventative practices, such as scheduled backups and monitoring software, reduce the impact of unexpected drive problems. Understanding these tools, symptoms, and procedures will help you answer exam questions with confidence. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.